Food and Snacks. This is Benjamin Sears. I'm here in Los Angeles today on this beautiful sunny day on the tennis court. Let's get right into it. Toe heel your feet apart so you're in a bit of a straddle. Grip the floor with your toes and push the floor outwards to make some tension in your outer legs. It helps you bring your tailbone forward. Inhale your arms out. Exhale, bring your right arm underneath your left and give yourself a hug. Doesn't have to be too tight, just a nice wrap to give you a container for these thoracic spine rotations. Inhale into your back so you kind of puff it up. Exhale to round forward. Think of this as corner one. Corner two, bring your right shoulder to your right hip. Corner three, come up to the center, glide your chin back and twist to the right without letting your right hip go back. So the straddle is actually helpful for this. Now start to come up to the ceiling, but only lift your elbows and chin as much as you can arc your upper back. At the same time, pull your front ribs down so you really feel it right in the middle of your back. Turn to the left without losing your hips in the center. Left shoulder to left hip, so your lower body is always your strength, structure, and stability. And then round forward again. Let's do one more circle to the right. Right shoulder to right hip. As you turn to the right, press your arms into each other. Come upwards with your elbows, slightly with your chin. Turn to the left. You should feel a nice stretch at the left side of your back. Left shoulder to left hip. Round forward. Open up again. Bring the other arm, left arm under. Give yourself a hug. Take an inhale here that feels like you balloon your lower back. On the exhale, close your front ribs and round forward just from the spine, so don't even move your hips at all. And then left shoulder to left hip. Turn to the left, don't forget about your right big toe. Come up a little bit to the ceiling, and then turn to the right for rotation. Right shoulder to right hip, round forward. Left shoulder to left hip. Turn left again without losing your hips. Come up to the ceiling. It's just good to know where you are in space. Turn to the right, right shoulder to right hip, and round forward. So you're always on a grid. Inhale, open up your arms, and you know where you are on the grid, and that's like plugging yourself in. Bring your right elbow underneath your left, eagle your arms, and then go up with your elbows. Nice, go way, way up, keep that back bend, and now bend your knees and come forward with your elbows. You can even peek around. Good. Inhale, come on back up again. Notice I didn't go all the way down that time. Open up your arms, and then again, left under right. Now go up, let your elbows be like heartstrings that pull you up, and then keep the up as you fold. So you add a fold, you add a little complexity, but you keep the extension. Good, and then come on back up. Release your hands, open them up again. Sweep your right arm again underneath your left. Go up with your elbows, and then this time exhale and fold forward again. Maybe this time you can come a little bit lower, but I want you to keep that forward reach, and then come on back up. Pause with your knees bent. Give yourself a hug. I tricked you into horse stance. Toe here, you'll feet a little bit further apart. Tuck your tailbone so your back is straight. And then we do a thoracic rotation here. So round, right shoulder to right hip, turn to the right. This horse stance position is a really good position. Turn to the left, left shoulder to left hip to take out the pelvic compensation in your thoracic rotations. So grip the floor with your toes. In this version of horse stance, toes point straight ahead. And keep a strong tuck in your tailbone. Good, open up your arms again, left under right, and then you get to stand up and come off the horse for a moment. Lift up, up, up with your elbows, and then keep the bend in your knees, and keep your elbows reaching forward so you stretch yourself over the frame of the posture instead of letting the posture push you around. Inhale to come on up, but only halfway, and then watch how I really tuck my tailbone, give yourself a hug, and then round forward, left shoulder to left hip, turn to the left, elbows go up, but tailbone comes down, so the bend is just in the upper back. Turn to the right, right shoulder to right hip, round forward. Nice, and then you eagle again, and you get to stand all the way up. Nice. This time, sweep your arms behind you, interlace your hands behind your back like a well-strung tennis racket. Lift your chest, bend your knees, and try to fold your body right in the center of your legs. Take an inhale, arch your back so that your butt goes up, and exhale, fold forward, keeping your knees bent, still reaching your heart forward. Inhale to come back up, reach your elbows out so you lead with your front body, your potential. Open up your arms, nice, and then we're gonna eagle again, right under left. So go way, way up with your elbows, and then exhale, bend your knees, and reach your elbows forward as you come down. And this time you're gonna bring your fingertips to the ground, crisscrossing yourself. Push your elbows into each other to bring your heart forward. And then from there, take your right arm under, over to about 2 o'clock, and pull your left ribs out of your low back. So avoid the temptation to straighten your legs here so that you can really stay in the fold of your hips. So move your right knee forward, stick your left butt up. There's an arcing stretch here up the left side of your back. This time take your right hand under just to 12 o'clock, reach it forward, and then sweep your left arm forward and up into a twist. Notice my knees are still bent, right? And by pulling with my right fingers, I can stick my right butt out and get a really nice twist. Nice. And then that left hand is gonna come under again. Right hand goes back where it was. Pull your heart forward, take your left hand over to 10 o'clock, right hand to about 11, and then move your right knee forward. And again, feel for that arcing stretch up the right side of your lower back. And I know that you're really in your hips here. Now, left hand to 12, right arm forward and up into a twist. Look forward to turn your head. That'll be nicer for your neck. And then keep thinking that your right knee moves forward and pull with your left fingers to turn your heart. From there, you're gonna sweep your right arm under, grab a hold of your left ankle, put your right hand on top of it. Now you can unbend your knees a little and just lean to the right, away from the leg that you're holding. So rather than trying to pull yourself towards the leg you're holding, inhale into the right side of your rib cage and try to arc your right ribs towards your right knee, but at the same time, use your right foot as a boundary to move you to the left, so that between your right foot and your left foot, you find your center. Draw a line from the middle of the arch of your left foot to the middle of the arch of your right foot, and then find the center of that line and go up to your perineum so that your underpinning lifts and you make a good container. So good. You should feel a nice stretch up the right side of your lower back. From there, left arm comes around, eagle it up again, bend your knees, lead with your front, come all the way up out of your legs for a moment, release your arms, inhale, open them up, left under right, make a fist, grab your wrist, go way, way up, and then keep that feeling of up as you bend your knees and bend your knees and bend your knees and bend your knees, and then the left hand goes to right ankle, right hand goes on top, move your right knee forward, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and breathe into the left side of your back. So notice that I'm not straightening my leg or pulling myself to my right thigh. With each inhale, I imagine that I have lungs down in my left kidney. And then on the exhale, left low ribs pull in and right knee goes forward. So notice how you can always operate the postures from your lower body. Lean forward to the balls of your feet. Knees always go forward so that you find the fold in your hips. And then know that your thigh bone is a line, not a vector. So a vector is a one-directional force of energy. A line goes both ways. So imagine from the center of your right thigh that your knee goes forward and your sitting bone goes up. And that's how you make more space on the left side. So there's always a diagonal cross reference. Nice, you can eagle your arms again, and then grip with your toes and substantiate from your lower body to stand all the way up. So good. Release your arms, open them up again. Again, interlace your hands behind your back, as high in your back as feels comfortable. Reach your elbows outwards. Keep that strong interlace. Try to pull your hands apart as you fold forward, chest forward and eyes forward and knees forward and hips up. Good. From there, come on back up. One more time. Nice. Arms out to the side. Good. And fold forward. Take your hands forward as far as you can with your knees bent. Up on your fingertips. It's kind of like a wide-legged downward facing dog. So walk your hands way forward and bend your knees so that your lower body becomes a template for your upper body. Nice. Good, and then from there, walk your hands back, toe heel your feet a little closer together, and come into a squat with your feet parallel. Measure your the width between your hips by putting your fists between your arches. Now, many people will need to elevate the heels in order to squat in this position, and I know this is quite demanding considering there wasn't like a huge warm-up or prep in this practice, but elevate your heels quite high by rolling up your mat or putting like a towel or a pillow underneath your heels if you need to. And then put your elbows on your knees and lift your hips only halfway, like only till your thighs are parallel. And then feel how you can move your knees forward into your armpits and your armpits back into your knees to lift your chest and stretch your body over the frame of your legs. So it should feel quite demanding in your legs, but also kind of nice in your low back. And then from there, keeping the contact of body to your legs, take your fingers forward. So contact is a conversation that represents how you communicate throughout your practice. So if you make good contact, you'll be in your folds. And then without losing the contact of body to legs, lift your hips. Now some people will need to put hands on blocks for this, and that's perfectly fine because you bring the floor up to you, and then instead of leaning into the blocks, pull your heart out. Take your left hand where your right hand is, take your right hand,
over to the right around the clock, clockwise at 2 o'clock, and then throw your heart out to 2 o'clock, but keep your right knee moving forward. So think that your hips turn counterclockwise and your heart turns clockwise. And those counter revolutions will put you in the center of yourself. And when you're centered, you can have your own personal revolution, because that represents that you have stability underneath you, you have the capacity and fluency of your heart and lungs, and then you can look out and really have some vision. Nice. Take your right arm underneath your left like this, so you crisscross it, and then left hand over to the right, so that you go forward first. Think that you're going around a clock face, right? So now your hips turn in a clockwise direction, and it's a little bit the left knee forward and the right hip up, so you always substantiate from the foot that you're moving away from, and then your heart goes out, and you feel this nice space in the right side of your lower back. Good. Take your fingers forward again. Again, hands on blocks is totally fine here. It's actually a really good modification to help you find the fold of your hips, because I really don't want you in straight legs. Instead, I want 2 back bends in the forward bend, so hips go up and heart goes forward. And it's pretty tough to stay in a forward bend for a while, because when you stay in a forward bend for a while, it's like going into yourself, into your shell, and that represents a certain excavation, right? A certain going in to come back up more universal. Now walk your hands back, grab your elbows, and be in a hang. And bend your knees so that bending your knees allows you to stay a little longer. It's like a conjunction in the middle of the sentence. And I can bend my knees and be in my hips. Let your head hang. Nice. Move your right knee forward to lift your left hip up. Move your left knee forward to lift your right hip up. Reach your elbows forward and out. Nice. And then leading from your elbows, come up into this little Utkatasana, and take your left elbow and put it over your right knee. And I don't mind that your feet are apart. Put your right hand on your low back, and then use this elbow, right? So press the knee and the elbow into each other. It's almost like I'm trying to glide my knee forward against my elbow. Then I can lean back into the twist and bring my arm up. So reach up with this arm and externally rotate it. Just means turn the tricep towards your face. And then take an inhale, and on the exhale, move your right knee forward and your left hip back, and that'll give you more space in that hip pocket to turn your heart. You can even take your arm up and over, and that'll really make some space in the right side of your lower back. But it's always about your legs, your first floor, knowing where you are in space. Nice. Bring your hands down, and again, fold forward. Just let yourself hang. I know this is demanding to be in these forward folds and twists for a while, but sometimes you have to go through the acidity to get to the sweetness. And just know that you go deep into yourself in your practice. It's like going up into your attic, your right eye, to reflect and get information, get insight, so that you can come all the way around your back to your left hand and use the hand that handles the heart to open up the possibility of a new day at your left eye. Nice. Okay, so from here, lead with your elbows, come up halfway, and then take your right elbow over your left knee, put your left hand on your back, and then think that this knee glides forward along your arm, and turn your heart and lean back, and then bring your left arm up. Nice. So I'm really using my feet to turn my spine. So think that you push down with your left foot and pull back with your right foot, and that'll help you stay in the center of the pose, and then you can lean back and it becomes kind of luxurious. Bring your arm up and over if you like. If you're losing the twist when this arm comes over, don't worry about the arm. Lift your chin, and then think that your heart is a pop-up. It goes up and over to 2 o'clock, which is the drishti of joy, because the future is always moving. Good. And then again, hands down, grab your elbows, hang over one more time. It takes a lot of effort to do a practice, but through your efforts, you can receive grace. So the way to make your effort turn into grace is to just make your efforts graceful. So put your tongue on the roof of your mouth where you would say love or light, and make your breath graceful. Nice. And then just drop your hands and come down to your knees. Sit down on your heels and turn your hands up on your thighs. In case grace rains down, you can catch some. Just a short practice today to create a little more space in your back, get you out of your kidneys, out of your adrenals, and hopefully become a little more responsive and a little less reactive. So we'll do the breath of the moment, because really when you're in the center of your circumstances, it's like being inside the center of a sphere that gives you a little buoyancy and a little cushion against the world, so that you have a moment of pause, because ultimately it's all about what happens on the inside is how you feel. So rather than shooting arrows at yourself from the inside,
become more buoyant, become more spherical, become more well-rounded, and then you have a little more bounce back ability. So turn your palms up in your lap and close your eyes. And then inhale up the back of your body and image that fire is rising. Get to the top of your head. Exhale down the front and image that water descends like a waterfall. Good. Inhale up your back. Fire is effort. Effort is imaged as fire. Get to the top of your head. And grace is imaged as rain. It just comes when you need it. In Montana last week, we got some nice rains, which felt like grace because there's a little bit of worry about the dryness of the earth and the heat and the fire season. So rain can be really an expression of grace from above. Now you're in the center of effort and grace. So you're in the middle of the moment. So every time you inhale up your back, it's you making effort to get somewhere, make your effort skillful, get to the top of your head, and then grace rains down in front of you. So you in the center of your circumstances represents the potential to respond with grace through the efforts that you've made in your practice. Each inhale up your back represents effort rising to the top of your head, and then you get to the top of the mountain, and grace rains down. So there's that moment of grace at the top of the hike where you get to sit in stillness and observe. Keep your breath spherical and continuous with no pause between the inhale and the exhale so that effort becomes grace and grace infuses into your efforts. And now take the fire and put it underneath the water underneath you like a campfire in a kettle, and inhale up the center of your body, let the steam rise. Exhale out the top of your head and feel a little release and a little ease as the heat comes out. Yoga is really about moving heat out. Again, inhale from underneath you, straight up the center of your body to the top of your head. And exhale out in every direction. And relax your belly. Relax your eyes in the wells of their sockets. Put a little smile in each eye. Put a little tiny smile in the corners of your mouth. Put a little smile in each armpit. And put a little tiny smile on your belly button. When you're ready, open your eyes. And without showing off too much, keep these little smiles with you as you go about the rest of your day. Hope you have a great day, evening, whatever it is for you. Peace.